Welcome back, my friends and my enemies. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of American Lunchbox Podcast. Chris, this is episode 29.
Wow.
Man, we chasing our 30s, bro. We chasing our 30s, man.
Man, that's not even on my watch hand, 29. That's
chasing
big.
our 30s, man. We about to hit the 30s, and I'm feeling good. You know, they say 30s is the new 20s. So we're in good shape here.
Yeah.
Now, listen, my friends, if you are listening for the first time, do not hesitate. You're not going to regret it. Hit the subscribe button. If you're coming back, do me a favor. Hit the like button. But do something like that for us. We appreciate the support. We appreciate everybody coming back. And this is the episode that you've been waiting for. We've been waiting for. This is our Super Bowl episode. Now, if you followed us, you know we do some sports. We've done, we did the World Series. Shout out to the Dodgers. But did we do a show for the Lakers when they won?
No, but no one was watching that anyway.
Good point. But well, shout out to the Lakers for winning.
Well, yeah. Now LA has 2 wins and Tampa has 2 wins.
And yes. Now, that's an interesting stat because L.A. won the basketball and the baseball. Yeah. And Tampa, who knew, won football and hockey.
Yeah.
Who knew? Who knew that this year would be the Tampa and Los Angeles years to dominate sports?
Yeah. We'll need a tiebreaker.
Well, soccer?
Unfortunately, that is like the 5th biggest sport.
Okay, well, soccer. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that turns out because I think soccer is coming back very soon.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Well, if anyone has ever watched the episode where Chris tells us 100 things that he would do instead, he had 100 sports, ladies and gentlemen, 100 sports that he would do instead of soccer.
Yeah, it was episode 2.
Episode 2. Go back to episode 2. Take a look at that. He has this long list. He tells us because he's not a big fan of soccer.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I could have had it longer than 100, but 100 would have to do for that list.
Now,
but you saw the game?
I did see the game, and not only did I see the game. Well, first of all, let's talk about before we get started with the game. What did you think about the fact that 25,000 people?
I think it was like 22,000.
22,000, right? I think the capacity of the stadium was 75. I think the capacity of the stadium was 75,000. So, what do you think about the whole social distancing? Did you see any?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, to all the people who are upset about their people wanting to get back to normal and there being fans at the Super Bowl, fuck you.
There you go.
You got to find something else to be mad about. Maybe stand by the hospital just to make sure those numbers go up in a week or 2 from now. Oh, my God. But everyone who was there looked like they had a good time, and that's great. We got to get back to normal. And football is our main sport at this point, and
that's right.
Super Bowl is a holiday for this country.
It is.
One of the ones where we all agree on at this point.
Exactly. And we can all agree that the game started out a little interesting.
It started like a chess match, and it ended like a chess match where one person gets their ass kicked.
It ended like somebody was in an alley beating somebody's ass. And they were saying, stop. And they were saying, no, I'm going to continue to beat your ass. And not only am I going to beat your ass, I'm going to call people over to watch me beat your ass.
Yeah.
That's what it turned out to be.
Yeah, it was a letdown.
But listen, we're jumping all over this shit. Let's make sure let's take it slow. All right, so does the Brady effect really mean anything? And the answer is hell yes.
Yeah, football is probably the hardest sport to turn a team around with one person. But in this case, it's not what he does on the field. It's really all the off the field stuff and just the pressure that you feel knowing that you can't really. He's a nice guy and he's such a winner's mentality and he has all those rings. So if he says something to you, you got to kind of listen.
10 appearances, 7 wins in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
By far the GOAT.
I remember the beginning
greatest
of the season.
of all time.
The Bucs when Tom Brady went to the Bucs in the beginning of the season, they were having penalties and they were undisciplined, and that wasn't the case yesterday.
Well, listen. Remember, if anyone has followed this, he spent no preseason with this team.
Right.
He set out
the
Zoom
meetings.
Yeah, there was no preseason, so I would guarantee you that he probably still doesn't know everybody's name on the team. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. Which speaks to the reason why I think at the end of the game when we talk about it, I'm going to talk about him. So stick around, because I'm going to talk about how I know he didn't know people's names.
Well, I forgot the name of the Bucs a few times. I was like, damn, the Patriots are going to win again.
Oh, that's what. Well, here's the thing. The game started out. Now, keep in mind also, Kansas City beat the Buccaneers in the regular season.
Yeah.
They whipped them. Okay? But again, we're talking about preseason, regular season, and playoffs.
Yeah.
3 separate entities, 3 separate kinds of play, 3 separate mentalities.
Oh, yeah. So the guy who kicked the 65-yard field goal in the preseason, and he's not the one that gets interviewed for who's the longest field goal kicker. In fact, I don't even know if that guy's still in the league.
And he's clearly, but that was preseason.
Yeah, preseason.
So now we're in the postseason. These two teams are the ones who ends up in the Super Bowl. There were some, poor Bills, because they had a good run this year.
Yeah.
If you followed our podcast, you probably haven't heard anything about the Steelers since we talked about the Steelers, because the Steelers crashed and burned.
Yeah.
Crashed and burned. So then you say, okay, we have the LA Rams here. Womp womp. So at the end of the day, you have
that's the beauty of the NFL playoffs. There's no series. It's loser go Mahomes.
Okay. Did he just say Mahomes as in loser? And okay. So Pat gets on the field.
Yeah.
Right? Brady gets on the field. Now, for you all who are wondering about home team advantage, this was all happenstance.
Yeah.
The league chooses in the preseason, and actually the season right after the next season, it chooses where the Super Bowl is going to be.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with who they think are going to win. As a matter of fact, the losing team, the most losing team I've noticed is the ones who usually get the Super Bowl.
And it usually has to do with warmer weather areas.
Right?
Yeah.
That's correct. So the fact that the game happened in Tampa Bay was a fluke.
Yeah.
It was not set up that the home team would actually be in the Super Bowl. So that was already a weird situation, that the home crowd was actually cheering for their team.
Right.
Now, Mahomes, and Brady both are superior quarterbacks.
Yeah, in fact, a few years ago when Peyton Manning and Cam Newton met in the Super Bowl, there was so much PR about this is the best versus the new guy, and I thought it was largely bullshit. But this one I was actually excited about because this is clearly the best ever versus what I think could surpass him one day, or like the best young guy. Let's put it that way.
Well, he's
the
clearly
best current guy.
The best current guy,
Yeah.
and he happens to be young.
Yeah.
He just happens to be young. I think he's only 27 years old. And at this point, he's already been in 2 Super Bowls. So you figure, and he's won one.
Yeah, and he's fantastic.
And people, you don't understand how hard it is in football for a team to go back to the Super Bowl twice back to back. That's one of the hardest things to do in this sport is to go back.
It's almost as hard as back-to-back DUIs or.
Which we'll talk about because that's another story. Now, as we are entering the game, we're talking about these 2 quarterbacks, but what we're not talking about, and what I know and what you know already too, defense wins games.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, talk about defense for a second.
Man, they were all over him. And Mahomes was, to his credit, like throwing these weird passes where he was hitting the ground, throw the pass right before he hits the ground, throw it 30, 40 yards, and actually potentially get into the zone of a receiver. But they were so locked down the whole game. It was almost impossible. It was impossible for them to score.
I think
touchdowns at least.
I think I saw him throw an underhanded pass.
Yeah.
Like a softball. Like he threw it he threw it underhand.
Yeah.
And the ball hit the guy's helmet. So he was right on the mark.
Oh God, he was so distraught after the game too. He never took a beating like that.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who was running and throwing the ball at least 3 downs. At least 3 downs.
Yeah.
Because they were always trying to come back. Now, end zone-less game. They never got into the end zone.
Yeah.
They scored, 3
field goals,
but never got into the end zone.
Yeah.
On the other side, though, offense, the longer you stay on the field, the more opportunities you have to win.
Yeah, no, they were also just like they had injuries, and the offensive line. For people who don't know, like your left tackle if a right-handed quarterback, your left tackle is the most important guy. You just he's just some big fat guy on the line. It's the biggest fat guy, and a lot of times the smartest and most experienced fat guy. And what the left tackle does is protect your blind side. So it's guys like Patrick Mahomes, if you're coming at him from the front, he's going to beat you. He's going to see which step you just took and take the opposite step and run right past you. The problem is you can't see who's attacking from the back. So the left tackle went down. His foot got injured as well, Mahomes. So they moved the right tackle over to left, and then they slid in a guard to right tackle, and then they put in some new guy on the line. So the whole thing was not how they played the whole year, and the results showed. He was on the run from the beginning, running at times backwards, 20 yards back.
20 yards back.
Just getting, honestly, shit mixed the whole game.
And
hit
sacked.
by 2 guys at once.
I think at one point they even called a personal foul because 3 guys tackled him at one time. And he popped right back up.
Mahomes reminds me of the little guy from the old game Punch-Out. That's always like smiling. And he's like the little guy that performs very well. But even he yesterday had a little frown on his face, which is rare.
Yeah, he was. He looked very distraught, very disappointed, and very frustrated.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens when you have a team that is distracted. And I think this team was distracted.
Yeah.
I think the coaches were distracted. I think the team was distracted. And they looked a little like they had stepped into something that they weren't prepared for.
Yeah, you can't have blood in the water against Tom Brady.
I mean, because he smells it. He smells it. He sniffs it out. And keep in mind, my friends, if you ever know Tom Brady, just for your own information, that's all he does is football. He doesn't have any endorsements. He doesn't do golf. He's a football fanatic.
Yeah,
that's all you know him for.
Yeah, he's not even though people say he's political, he doesn't know anything really about that either.
No,
he just good energy, positive vibes, sports is like that's all
it.
He cares about.
So this is all that he does. He doesn't participate in a whole bunch of off the field drama.
Yeah,
he doesn't necessarily deal with he's a family man. You know, he has girls. I mean, it's like this dude is literally a football mechanic.
Yeah,
that's all that he does is football. So when you think about how he has been able to, at his age, I think he's 49.
No, he's in his. I think he's about 44.
I think he's older than that. Tell us how old he is.
Think so.
I think he's older than that.
I think because he said he wanted to play to 45, and I think that might be next year.
Okay, all right.
He's got one more year left. So
he got one more year.
He can't retire on top. He's going to have to come back.
He has to come back, and that doesn't mean he's going to win again, but it does mean that he's going to make people feel a lot more uncomfortable with what they saw on yesterday. So now let's talk about Brady and how he was able to do everything without taking 3 steps back. Did you notice that he didn't? I don't think he ever took 3 steps back from.
Well, yeah. If you got these big beefy guys protecting for you, it is like the Patriots. It's like everyone's there with Bill Belichick. It's like the same little dinky dunky passes and good protection.
I mean, the guy didn't get hit one time.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, he had the time to make several different decisions. I can go either right. No. I can go left. No, I'm going to go down the middle. I mean, he had time to do all of that without even being concerned. I mean, I don't know if he's paying guys with Rolex watches or something, but these guys down in the middle, total protection.
Yeah.
Total protection. He could make any call he wanted. And again, he's a master at using mediocre talent. You don't even have to be a superstar. You just have to be available when he needs you. You don't even have to be a superstar. And it just so happens he does have a superstar on this team. But we know that he has done great things with an average team.
Yeah, all he needs is one little short white guy, fast guy in the slot, and he's good.
Done. Done. So now the game drew on to halftime. Score was, I believe, at halftime 9-21, I believe, at halftime. And what did you think about the halftime show?
I know some people had some issues with it. I thought it was one of the better ones in the last few years. I really enjoyed it. I think it was simplified a lot, and I think that was due to COVID.
Right.
So there was a couple things that maybe you didn't see, but it just struck me that they had two sets. One was up in the rafters and one was down on the field, but each one was about 10 minutes. It takes about 15 minutes to contract COVID, to figure out the math. Usually they have people on wires. They have fake fans surrounding, which looks bad. They didn't have that. And out of necessity, they were creative as possible, and they had sets that were set up and meant to be shot from every angle because they had to exploit as much of it as possible because they couldn't have, in my opinion, from what I saw, that many crew members there pulling things, pushing things. They had people that were essentially socially distanced for the most part, other than when they went in that mirror room.
But you don't know that they used the whole idea of him having plastic surgery. That was that whole thing, because over the last few months, it was been a lot of chatter on the gossip line that he had some botched plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And so I think that they used that to their advantage because everyone was wearing masks.
Right, the COVID mask. That's another thing.
But they looked as if they had come out of some plastic surgery situation.
Yeah.
So it all worked out.
That seemed to be most people's problems with it, that they were wearing a jock strap on their head. But honestly, what they were doing, it kind of made you think, oh, what was it? I mean, the song's called "I Can't Feel My Face When I'm With."
Yes.
I assume that's about cocaine, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, I figured it was something plastic surgery or that related. And then the other thing is no outfit changes.
No outfit changes.
But you know what he did the most with it? It was almost like from the 70s, how they have like certain camera effects and they just have a sparkly suit or like a sequin suit or just like the lights move in a certain way or maybe a delayed reaction of how the lights hit the camera.
Right.
So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was long. And the diaper head guys or whatever they were. I kind of like the frantic energy. How they it was like a party atmosphere where in the past some of the Super Bowl halftime shows felt like very controlled and very popish. This had like an old timey sort of jazz sort of motif in the background, and then he still had a little bit of pop, but it just felt like a lounge singer thing, which was like kind of refreshing.
Yeah,
I don't need to see I didn't see anyone doing backflips on a wire. I didn't see an old woman dancing on a strip pole. No offense, Jennifer Lopez. I didn't see.
Wow.
I didn't see weird ancient Sumerian symbology. I didn't, and it wasn't preachy.
Right.
Sometimes I watch the show and I'm like, This time I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. It was cool from the beginning to the end. I liked it.
Well, I'm not a big fan of The Weeknd personally. I think he's very talented. I think that, but I don't. His song selections are kind of weird to me. It's not an R&B. It's not a pop. It's kind of and it's fine. It's music, and I enjoy all kinds of music. The bet is that he was going to start with I think called Starline or whatever. That was one of the bets in Las Vegas. What song he's going to start with? Okay. And he did. He started with that song. So those of you all who betted on that was a good short bet. But also too, I thought it was very entertaining. He sung live, which I was impressed with. He didn't lip sync. He didn't lip sync any of his songs. He sung it live, and I think that as far as just entertainment wise, I think it worked for America.
Oh yeah,
I think it worked for America. I think America would be happy with this performance. It didn't like you said, it wasn't preachy. It was he has some hits. Yeah. He's proven that he got some hits. And but it wasn't preachy, it was right down the middle, and for me it seemed kind of quick. It didn't seem long to me. It seemed kind of like in and out, because someone co-signs, or someone else will come out and do a song with them, or but that was it.
We don't need to see a mainstream entertainer saying, just so you know, I do support Black Lives Matter. It's like, we know.
Right.
It's like, you get it.
So there was none of that.
I really like, even with filmmaking, I just like situations where you have the minimal amount of people on set to achieve maximum product. Like I hate being on a set where there's like 30 fucking hipsters that are just there hanging out.
Yeah.
It's like then you're having to stop. Then you're hearing on burps and farts on the damn mic on the boom mic playback. So I think they really did the most with what little they had.
I agree.
And every little angle mattered. Like for 20 seconds he was singing against fireworks. Then they went inside a room that just had mirrors. Basic.
That's it. And
then they had a different
cool.
city and they shot it from a couple different angles. Then they went on the field. They made the dancers do something that distracted you for that 30 seconds. Like they really did the most with the least, and I really thought that was cool.
I was entertained. Not a big fan of, but I was still okay with that. I wasn't like I wish it was someone else. So again, that was good. So now we come back second half. Come back to the second half,
we did, but the Chiefs
right,
didn't.
and no, but the first few plays seemed like they had gotten some good pep talk. In the locker room, but that slowly dissolved.
Good news, the girl didn't die yet.
You know, it's like it dissolved very quickly. And now, to Pat's credit, he did his best.
Yeah,
I think his athleticism was just what would be the game highlight. His ability to move around in the pocket it seems as if the defense on the Chiefs just lost lost all of their energy very early, and the offensive line, I believe, also just was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
For what you had talked about earlier, but his athleticism was just stellar.
Oh yeah.
And
he was hurt.
And he was hurt. He had hurt his foot earlier, and so. But those are not excuses. Those are just facts.
Yeah.
You know, any given Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, any given Sunday, top 10 movies, by the way. Any given Sunday, a team can come out there and win or lose. You know, that's how football is. That's the beauty of football.
It would have been a nice moral victory if he could have just got one touchdown.
Yeah.
But they even denied him that at the end.
They denied him that. They denied him
just
that.
Just kicking him when they were down.
Yeah. It was, then I'm gonna do it in front of the world. So now, some of the things that you may not have known that may have been a part of the reason why the team didn't do well is coaching. Now, by the way, for you all who know or don't know, the coach for the Chiefs, his son was involved in a DUI, a second DUI, by the way.
He's also a coach.
He's also he's a line coach as well. Yes, you're right. And he killed 3 people 2 days before.
Did they die?
They died.
Oh.
The girls died.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They died. So I don't know if you all were watching, and at the very end of the game, I guess when you're starting to figure out why teams lose, and you could see how the sportscasters began to talk. One of them mentioned in a way that did not necessarily expose the truth. It was done in a way like it seemed he was involved in an accident and could possibly have been just a simple accident. But the truth of the matter is that it was a DUI, and this was his second DUI. And as a result of that, he was either in jail at the time for obviously manslaughter, or, he had been bonded out. Now, I don't know about you as a father. I know you don't have any children yet, but as a father, that would affect me. And because he works for the team, I believe it affected the team. But no one wants to make excuses for the loss. No one wants to make, but this is serious. This is extremely serious.
When I was in, it's a pretty big deal at the time because, when you're in high school and something tragic happens, like it's just a time in your life when you're very social. So everyone coalesces around the tragedy.
Yes.
And that's the time in your life where you just have the most acquaintances because you're trapped in a environment when you're social, you're at a social
high school.
Yeah, you're socially peaking or getting the most curious about such a thing, and it's when maybe you don't have the closest or longest term friends, but you have the most. We're all friends. So, there was this girl who, just a sweetheart girl, Daniela D'Angelo, and just nice as could be to everyone. Like everyone, when there's a tragedy, everyone always says they're so nice. It's usually bullshit. But she was really a sweetheart, and she got hit by a car, and I passed it on the bus, and I didn't realize why the bus was slowing down or why is this bus taking forever? It's because she essentially got killed. Essentially, was somewhat around the corner from my house. Come to find out that the guy who hit her had a seizure. Terrible tragedy, except it's not the first time he had a seizure behind the wheel, and the license was already gone.
Oh, wow.
And when that happens, you can't imagine how angry you are at the person. Yeah. To the point where I'm surprised no one hurt the guy.
Yeah.
Because people knew where the guy lived.
Oh my goodness.
And I just always expected that it's one thing to make a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes, and sometimes once that happens, sometimes it takes a big mistake to correct the situation. But if number one, you're not after the first mistake, and number two, you're hurting other people, then it's pretty fucked up.
It is, man.
And apparently, I think Andy Reid's other son had some issues as well with substance, which people do. But yeah, it reminds me of Jerry Lawler from wrestling's son. He always kept screwing up, and Dad kept always bailing him out. And it's a matter of time before that person seriously gets hurt or hurts someone else, because they're just not correcting the behavior. And if it's affecting other people, and this kid, a little kid got hurt, so it's really messed up.
So if you could understand what we're talking about now, then you can understand how it affected the team, how it affected the judgment of the team as a whole, because he's a member of the team.
Yeah,
and so that had to play into it. And when coach tried to acknowledge it, of course he didn't want to take any responsibility for it, in the sense that said no, it had nothing to do with it, and he was clear. But already, you have to understand.
Yeah.
So anyway, as we move out, man, look, we're going to be right back with another segment here, but Super Bowl 55. We'll be right back, guys. So now it's all over, right? It's all over, and it's time to celebrate. And this is the best part. Now, of course, because of the COVID, celebration is going to be a little different. There's no champagne, by the way. No champagne. Nobody's passing bottles around. Nobody's drinking out the same bottles.
Right.
They're not spraying anybody down.
Yeah.
None of that shit, right? Instead, what they do everything on the field. Everybody's in the field, and they do a good job at not showing, but only the stage. They don't show a lot of the crowd. They don't show a lot of the players unless you're in the frame. They didn't do a lot of panning. They didn't do any of that. They kept it very focused on who was in the frame.
Are you implying that just like that guy that ran on the field, the NFL usually cuts away from bad behavior?
Exactly.
On and off the field.
Exactly. Exactly. So they're doing this purposely to, of course, so that they don't get any backlash from what may happen if someone looks at this screen and says, because they already know they got a stadium full of people, first of all.
That's why they were using that telephoto lens as well, right?
Of course. When they got a touchdown, they were going to the telephoto lens.
To make it look blurry in the background.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
and
I didn't really like the effect as much.
I like that effect.
Okay.
Well, I liked it for the camaraderie part.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's just too hard to track because they just move around so frantically. It's just hard to focus pulls. So it's kind of like in and out of focus.
But they didn't want you to see what was behind that focus.
Yeah. A cardboard cutout of a fat guy going, yeah.
They didn't want that.
Yeah.
They didn't want that.
Well, yeah, because they said, oh, these guys all paid $100 to get cardboard cutouts, but then they kept it out of focus.
Then they kept it out of focus. I don't know if you guys saw those cardboards. Did you see the cardboards? Yeah, I saw them too. So now when we look at Tom Brady.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's all good. Look at Tom Brady, and I believe this. Tom Brady does not know all the people on that team.
Well, the one guy I saw, Mike Evans, who's one of the leading receivers on the team. Brady was up on the stage, and that guy was down there going, like he's the fan.
Yes.
And there's the star.
Yes. Now, Tom Brady goes.
The refs sometimes did that too.
Oh yeah. The
refs and Tom Brady have a long history.
Yes, they do, and let's not even talk about the last play of the last three plays.
Sorry.
The last 3 plays of halftime, where all those calls were just so. I mean, you talking about momentum killers, those guys, man. But anyway, so we're at the end of the game. Tom Brady is going around, and the focus is on Tom. Okay, so anything Tom is going to do, because we love Tom. NFL that's their legacy boy. That's their GOAT. They don't care who else is on the team. They're not even looking at the coaches right now. Right? You see Pat comes out. You see Tom embraces Pat. You see that happen. Now remember, 3 Super Bowls ago, Tom didn't do that. He was upset and decided that he wasn't going to give the props to the other team. He walked off because he was so upset. That was the Super Bowl. But this time when he wins, he's all for it, right? But that's Tom. So Tom and Mahomes comes, and Mahomes gives him the little pat, and then again stays on Tom, and we see Tom go around and starts to say hello, because people are coming to him, but you can tell the people he knew. And he could tell the people that he didn't know. It's like you could tell the people because how he responded.
We just won the Super Bowl. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and he would embrace, and sometimes he just do this. So I'm telling you, this guy here, because he is football. He is football. There is nothing bigger than Tom Brady. He is football, and because of that, you find that NFL is always going to favor their boy, and that's exactly what they did during this game. They wanted him to win. I believe that.
I mean, they didn't like him when they were fighting over deflated footballs.
But here's the thing. That's where the middle finger comes in, because at the end of the day, what Tom is doing is pointing his finger back to all those haters.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
You could see
remember,
you could picture
traded
in your mind a situation, and Bill Belichick is holding random papers and watches Tom Brady win the Super Bowl and goes, "Ah!"
I mean, what does Bill think about his idea of getting rid of Tom at this point when Tom now wins another?
Yeah.
And by the way, the Patriots didn't even make the playoffs.
I think he's so
The Patriots didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They didn't even make the playoffs. And Tom goes here on a fluke team. Team was in shambles. First 6 games were ridiculous. Tom's throwing his helmet on the ground. And these guys end up with a 14-5 record.
Yeah.
And win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That Brady magic.
Brady fucking effect.
Yeah.
Brady effect, man.
Even his age is kind of magical.
Well, as a matter of fact, you may ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, how does this guy do it? Well, he does it a couple of ways. Number one, he doesn't get hit. You see, any game you play, if you can keep your arm and your body intact, then you can play for years. I'm telling you, he doesn't take 3 steps back. If he takes 3 steps back out of the pocket, he's doing too much. He's the kind of guy who can he's the kind of guy who kills you by handing off the ball. I know that's kind of strange, but by the time he starts handing off the ball, he's already done the hard work. You see what I'm saying? It's like when you start letting your running backs do the work, that means he's done for the day. I don't think he threw a pass at all in the 3rd quarter or the 4th quarter. I don't think he threw one pass.
Just running out the clock.
So the idea of the fact that his health and the fact that he's so old, and plus he has a mystery, check this out, he has a mystery trainer.
When you're married to a supermodel, that's not much of a mystery. It's easy to stay young like that.
Well, I don't know what the implication is. You telling me that this woman is keeping him young? Explain that, Chris. How can a woman keep you young?
No, I'm just joking. It's obviously like diet and
it's diet and he has a secret trainer. It's not secret, but his practices are very debatable. What I mean by debatable,
he has the spice.
How he manages his body, because he manages his body.
Yeah,
he manages how his body is aging.
As I understand it, it's somewhat of a keto diet. Very limited carbs, protein, and vegetables.
But what about the stretchings and the
Right.
chiropractic procedures,
Oh, yeah.
and also too how he uses heat and water and rest, and it's a regimen that
it's hyper disciplined.
It's extremely hyper disciplined, but it's hyper disciplined in the off season as well as, it's all.
Well, that's Mayweather said that. The boxer said, "Don't ever get out of shape if you're in sports, because it's so much harder and so much worse on your heart to get back into what is essentially a fighting shape. That if you just stay in shape, you're doing better than anyone else that's not."
That's right.
It's hard to do because after a big celebration, you want to eat a big cake or something. But
not me, Chris.
These guys
I don't eat cake. Do you?
Well, were you inspired? Are you inspired by Brady, given your both experience levels? Like, are you inspired by the, for lack of a better word, longevity?
Now, I don't know exactly what you're implying there, sir. How do you know about my longevity?
I'm just saying Father Time seems to be treating both of you guys pretty well.
No, I know what you're implying. Yes. Listen. I'm extremely fortunate. I'm extremely blessed.
Yeah.
Most people would never guess my age. They would never know how old I was. And I it's been diet for me as well. It's been discipline with diet, discipline with exercising.
Yeah.
But listen, I can't speak to the fact. I figure it's all going to go bad all at one time. You see, when it actually happens to me, it's gonna just happen. It's just gonna be like, damn, you look old today. But anyway, man.
Man.
But yeah, Tom Brady. Tom Brady is
Remember, keto diet, not Cheeto diet.
Keto, not Cheetos. Ketos, not Cheetos.
I have to take my own advice on that one.
Yeah, about that. But hey, and also too, are you guys jump over to the YouTube station and check us out today? We're both busting the favorite color of black today, in honor of the Super Bowl. Chris decided he's gonna jump into the black zone, and we're all black like me. You look great, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, how you feeling, by the way?
I feel good.
You feel
Got my
good?
taxes done early.
I mean, how was your week?
Yeah, good. Well, I got some good advice this week.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you got some advice. Tell us.
Well, as you know, I was hesitant to send that letter I wrote to Joe Biden, and the advice was,
well, let's first of all, who is the advice from? Let's talk about who the advice was from.
it's from my dad saying,
Shout out to Joe.
It was a good letter, but stop being a pussy. And just send the fucking letter and not from George's house.
Shout out to Joe.
Yeah. I'll say finally, because I've hinted at it, why I was so hesitant. Or why
were you so hesitant? Tell us. Don't hint at it. Tell us.
Okay.
Tell us why you're so hesitant. You're in Antifa?
With the black, yeah.
You're in Antifa now? I mean, tell us. I mean, are you starting a new Black Panther party?
It was a number of years ago. And
this is a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Watch. Listen.
All right, this is exactly what happened. Don't do anything like this ever.
I remember this.
If anyone ever seen
from
wrestling the Iron Sheik, he was the old-timey wrestler that used to fight Hulk Hogan. He was like the anti-American Iranian guy. And he used to say stuff like, I break your back. I make you humble. I am #1 champion. I am USA garbage. Iran #1. And as he got older, he, and out of the ring, he would, he had some substance abuse issues, and that rhetoric, which was violent but PG, turned R-rated. And I'm not even going to repeat some of it, but it was pretty rough. Anyway, goofing around on the internet one evening, I stumbled across my local senator's, hey, you want to leave a comment for the local senator? You know, like how a webpage has that, like, leave a comment for your senator.
Yes, Chris.
Okay, so I just thought, this is a goof. Probably they'll never read it. Probably just some intern will look at these things and throw it in the trash. Or get a chuckle out of it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to act all Iron Sheik on the message board. So I said, I am number one. You are not the number one. I can break with the suplex. I just go, LOL, send. And then I just forgot about it. That was the end of it. Or so I thought, until the next day when I get a message. Hello, Christopher. This is from.
Wait, hold on. Was it on the phone, right?
It was a voicemail.
So they had your phone number.
They got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Quickly.
Go ahead.
We're calling from the Capitol Police. That's federal. We have a report that there was some hostile language used towards a senator.
Yes, this is a true story.
Now, when you ever hear someone say that their heart dropped into their stomach, if you get a call from the feds, your heart drops into your stomach. I was like shocked. I just thought this was obviously a joke. If I'm saying I am the Iron Sheik, literally, if someone Googles it, they're gonna see the Iron Sheik as a goof. It was a joke.
That's what they said.
But it wasn't a joke to everyone, apparently.
No. They took that extremely serious.
I called up the lady. I said, "Hey, this is me." She repeated what she had said on the phone. I said, "Ma'am," I said, "this is exactly what happened." I said, "This was clearly a joke. Do you see how the way I wrote it was even jokey? Like, this is not real." She's like, "Well, unfortunately, we have to take all threats as credible threats." And I said, "But it's not a threat. I'm saying I'm the wrestling champion."
Threat. It's language.
And she goes, "Are you implying by this message that you would like to suplex the senator?"
That's bodily harm, ladies and gentlemen. That's bodily harm.
I said, "Absolutely not. That's not even the way." I was like, "Reread it, please." And she goes, "Yeah, this did look like a goof, but I have to follow up." And I said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call." I literally thought an intern was just going to look at this and roll their eyes and be like, "Asshole," and delete.
Capitol Police, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, those are the same folks that were pulling people off the towers and off ropes just a few weeks ago. The Capitol Police.
So, she goes, "No, look, I understand what you did, but you do understand how stupid this was, correct?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "And you're never going to do something like this again, are you?" I said, "No, ma'am." She said, "All right, just," she knew it was, she knew.
But she has to follow up. Now, that is
don't do anything
story.
like that ever again.
That's legitimate.
I won't. I'll never even, because the other thing is, I said, "Ma'am, can I let you know one thing? I don't even know who was the senator." I didn't even know anything about it. So I said, so she goes, "Yeah, this could really be misinterpreted." I said, "Yes, I understand." So yeah, she just, they let me go and, just said, "This could easily be misinterpreted. Watch what you do." I said, "Yeah, geez, I didn't. It's not a joke. I thought it was a joke."
The next day, he told me the story. The next day, he says to me, "Battle, you won't believe it. Shit just happened to me." And I laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. And I said, "See, don't fuck with the government." And this is the reason why when we're talking about, signs that says contact, a lot of times they already have information.
Right.
Now this was over the internet, so they got your IP address, contacted your service provider, got your service.
What's this guy's phone number?
Got the phone number.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how much process that takes to find out who did this from a form on the website. Yeah. It's just not like your information was just there. No. But they found you. So
yeah, and they didn't. And when they called, they didn't say, "Is this Iron Cheek?" They said, "Is this Christopher?"
Yes,
they knew.
They knew. So that's the whole suspicion, ladies and gentlemen, about him not being able to send the letter. But he's not going to be a pussy because his dad told him not to be a pussy. Shout out to Joe Mastro out there.
Yeah. Speaking of him too, later on, like a few months later, he pranked me, pretending to be some sort of a cop thing.
Dad.
And he got me good on that one.
Oh, I love it.
But I think it was because I had like a parking ticket. I didn't. It was some other story, but.
Bloomberg. Fucking Bloomberg. All right. All right. So Super Bowl 55 ended with, a score of, 31-9.
Yeah.
It got to be the point where, at least where I was looking at the game, we started drinking more, and it got to be more of a social thing than it was about the game. But I want to talk about one more thing before we end this, guys. Just one more thing. And if you all watched the Super Bowl, or if you didn't even watch it, it doesn't matter in this conversation. But what you can do is you can go back and look at all the commercials. And at a certain point, now, hey, for me, I love the fact that the acknowledgement of where we are and working together. And I'm that sentimental guy. I'm that kumbaya guy. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the whole hands. We get all along. But good grief, man. Did you all get enough of these fucking commercials with these themes of America?
It's been bad since.
And, holding hand. I was like, enough is enough. It wasn't like the first one, but after the 14th one, I'm waiting for the Taco Bell commercial.
Yeah,
where's the Taco Bell commercial?
Yeah, there's the comedy has been removed from these commercials, and what's been replaced is this veneer of sincerity by major corporations who want your money. And it started about 5 or more years ago, and part of it is just because there's a big female audience for the Super Bowl. But it's like a faux sincerity, and it's always based on what the latest uproar is in the news. So like at the beginning of the pandemic, it was like, we know you're working right now to rebuild and times are tough. And now ever since all the drama at the Capitol, it's
come together.
Yeah,
we must rebuild.
It's been red versus blue, and
I'm like, bro, if I wanted to look at a PSA, a public service announcement,
yeah,
I would have turned on PBS. I mean, and I get it though. Believe me, I get it.
Yeah.
We do need a portion of our brain cells to understand where we are. But this is the Super Bowl. People are drinking. People are socializing. This is the first time of the new year that we've had an opportunity to come together, and we're in the purple zone. So that means we are at bars. That means we are with our friends.
Yeah.
I mean, why are you bringing the? And on top of that, Kansas City is losing badly. So every time you see those commercials, you feel, oh, and then come back to the game and you say, oh.
Well, in one of the sensitive commercials, they put Honey Badger in there and wearing a mask, but they put him in there to show like, oh, we're all together, even this player. And he had just gotten in a fight with someone on the field, so it rang so hollow. And who's ever thought, you know what? I really do care about social justice. I think I'll buy an SUV.
I think I'll buy a Jeep. I think I'm gonna go get a fishing bass. I think I'm gonna go get a rod and reel. Like, what the hell? I mean, all of the and hold on. For me, it was about who is sponsoring. I could not wait till the commercial was over so I could see what company actually sponsored this, and it was some of the weirdest shit.
Yeah,
man.
it's unconnected to the commercial.
Unconnected. There was not a Jeep in the commercial. There was not well, I guess in that commercial, it was the guy was fishing. They were fishing, but still, it was like, I get it though. I get it, but come on.
In general, commercials are not as fun as they used to be. Like, commercials now are either like a copy of a Geico type or like a copy of it's like pothead humor, weird things. And everyone's copying that model. And then in the Super Bowl, it has to be like ultra sensitive or to show like how nice the corporation is. But like, we gave this starving family food for Thanksgiving. It's like, oh, great. Is it really charity when you're bragging about it?
And on top of that, you're paying millions of dollars per second to make this point.
Yeah. I think Jesus might have flipped a few tables over this one.
You think so? Come on, JC. Let me know.
Hey, one point. I did notice on the sideline, Patrick Mahomes, being a good boy and wearing his mask. And Tom Brady on the sideline, he never wore his mask.
Never wore his mask.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Never wore mask.
Does that settle that debate?
All right, man. Listen. Oh, and by the way, to my black brothers out there, we did have something to celebrate. Both of I believe the defensive coordinators were black. We didn't see them to the end of the game when they were losing, though. And but the defensive coordinators are black on both teams, and I think they should be head coaches next year because they've done a great job, both of them. And I think the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were both black. So big up. And there was a female referee on the field last night.
Right.
Yeah, big ups to that too. Those are all progressively things that are getting better as regards our socialists. Not socialist, but our social.
Freudian slip.
No, I'm a capitalist, man. I'm a capitalist. Get out of here.
Like many corporations.
Our social matters.
Like many corporations currently, you're capitalizing off that socialist rhetoric.
Whatever, bro. Talk your shit, man. Hey, you got any cheers? You got any cheers to this?
Yeah. Speaking of unsettled debates that you're not supposed to talk about.
What do you got on this for?
Cheers to My Pillow Guy.
What happened with My Pillow Guy?
My Pillow Guy made a movie all about the potential election fraud, like a 2-hour thing, and it got completely scrubbed from he dropped it on Friday. He got completely scrubbed from the internet.
Was it on Netflix or something?
Not completely, but pretty much. No, it was supposed to be on YouTube. It got pulled down. Then he aired it. He paid advertising on OAN to air it as a 2-hour infomercial. And it's basically just him. If there's anything you ever were skeptical about, it's those skepticisms, but broken down in detail. And regardless of if you agree with the information or not, it doesn't matter. He should still be allowed to talk whatever he's going to talk without being banned from society. I mean, what does it hurt?
Isn't it My Pillow Guy the guy who brought the?
Yeah, it's the same. Well, look,
days of Trump.
I just wanted to watch it for a minute, and be like, oh shit, My Pillow Guy made a movie, and it was gone. So that's the worst thing you could do to me is say, oh, you can't touch this stove now, or to anyone really. It's like, now I want to see it.
Now you want to see it.
So I found it, and I saw it.
And you want to talk about that later?
Oh, my head didn't explode. I'm still here. Everything's all right. There's no reason not to talk about this stuff. Especially, it's just super hypocritical when for 4 years, the country was accusing that president of election, whatever with Russia. So we cannot even talk about this now. So I just want to say cheers to him because he's losing a lot by going out here like this.
Right.
He's not even going out there. He's staying out there. And cheers to the people who stick by your guns, man. Yeah. Even if they're right or wrong.
Yeah. You're right, man. Cheers.
My pillow. I heard the pillows are pretty good too.
I think I have.
Buy one while you can.
I think I have one actually. Well, cheers to. Listen, now you guys know I've talked about this before. I usually don't even watch the Super Bowl. I usually read it, and then kind of pick up the highlights and stuff I don't quite get when I read it. But I got invited to a Super Bowl party, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, this guy. I got invited to a Super Bowl party.
Doing something social.
Yeah. So it was cool. Guys, my business partners, they have a beautiful home up in Encino. It was nice. And so I want to shout out to R&R and Associates for giving me a place to watch the game last night.
Yeah.
And boy, I probably drank too much. That's probably why this podcast started a little later. But shout out to them for offering me up the invitation to come out and hang out with those guys. I really like them a lot, man. But all right, man, that wraps it up for us. I mean, unless there's anything else, what's going on? You want to tease anything? You want to tell anybody something that's coming up? Or what?
No, well, I was going to watch that.
What?
The Rock. There's a show coming. It's kind of a nerdy thing.
Oh God, The Rock. You know that's his hero. That's his hero, by the way.
I don't know if I'd say that, but he does have a show coming out.
What's the name of the show?
It's called Young Rock. It's kind of like everyone hates Chris.
Hold on. Stop the press. Ladies and gentlemen, stop the press. We got a few more minutes left. I got to ask this one question. After the Super Bowl, did you keep the TV on and watch the reboot of the?
That's a joke. Yeah, I did.
Did you watch the reboot?
Well,
of the Equalizer?
I was
with my girl Queen Latifah. Bless her heart. I love you, Queen. I remember when you were from Jersey and you was the dopest rapper in New Jersey / New York, the Tri-Cities. I remember that. What's up?
I remember that was 1990.
Queen Latifah. Did you keep your TV on?
Well, I just wanted to see.
For the Nielsen's, at least, for my sister.
For the joke, I kept it on. And I just wanted to see if, no offense, I just wanted to see if it was a joke or not, because I can understand if she was like a master of explosives or if it was a complete joke. Well, you have a 50-year-old woman doing kung fu effectively, not causing any bruises or cuts on the guys, but they just lay down out of how powerful your aura is. You win this round. Really? You're still in one piece?
Don't listen to him, ladies and gentlemen. Go out and support my girl, Queen Latifah.
You ever see like that ultimate kick-ass person when they're training on the punching bag and the punching bag doesn't move?
Yeah. That's good punching, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you're doing it right.
No, I don't know.
The Equalizer. The Equalizer reboot, Queen Latifah. They're going to give her at least 9 episodes. Bless her heart.
Oh, man.
Bless her heart. They're going to give her 9 episodes. They're going to give her 9. It won't make her probably to 23.
It's just the most generic, corny network, regardless of Queen Latifah. It's just corny network.
That's the same network. That's the same network that gave you, Big Bang Theory and all of this other corny shit.
What would you say the average age of a CBS viewer is?
35.
35?
CBS?
Like those shows?
Oh, those corny ass shows.
Well, I just don't understand.
I don't even know people who actually watch network television.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Even after Netflix, like they never changed the formula.
Oh,
like that audience is just gonna, unfortunately, die with those shows, those procedural shows.
I don't know, man. But anyway, I just wanted to see if you guys do that. Listen,
no, I mean, congrats for making money, but I mean, it was kind of a joke.
Episode 29. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. American Lunchbox Podcast. In the mortal words of my father, don't ever let the times change the lines in your smile. Peace.